Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavunebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Jai Pataka Swami Niti Namine Nama Acharya Padaya Nitaye Kripa Pradayani Gaura Katha Dhamadaya Nagar Gram Tarine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam Pangum langayate girim Yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tatsa Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Welcome you all for reading Bhagavad Gita. Lata, are you there? Hare Krishna, Lata.
Yes, Mataji.
You have signed with the name Lata?
What name I have signed? I will see, Mata. Yes, I have signed with Lata.
Okay. So we are reading chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita, and this chapter, the name of the chapter is Dhyan Yoga. And last few classes we are seeing that Arjuna was told by Krishna to control the mind and senses. And for controlling the mind and senses, the process was given right now. Here is the Dhyan Yoga. And Krishna will talk about Dhyan Yoga, is talking about Dhyan Yoga. And there were two stages. One is Yoga Rurukshu and the second is Yoga Arudha. The first 4 stages were the Yoga Rurukshu, which is launching pad for the Yoga Arudha. Yoga Arudha means where you are completely situated on the Dhyan Dharana Samadhi. First is Yamaniyam, Asan and Pranayam. So we saw yesterday 4 things. A person who is complete in Samadhi, he has obtained the Supreme Lord. His mind and senses are controlled. He is friend of everyone. He has no envy for anyone and he sees everybody equal. So we saw some good qualities of the people, those who are in the stage of Samadhi. We saw he has a controlled mind. He has attained Paramatma. He has got inner peace. He is neutral to heat and cold, happiness and distress, honor and dishonor. He has equal vision for pebble, stone and gold. And he is a friend of all people. He has no enemy as actually. So this is the, if a person has a controlled mind and once he attains the perfection, these are the quality he develops. And then how do we attain that stage? So for that, Krishna has given the process. And then we saw yesterday that a person who wants to meditate on the yoga practice, he should go to a secluded place. Secluded place should also be pure. And there he should make asana. And you should sit on a kusha grass asana, deer skin, and on the top of that, the soft cloth. Asana should be not very high, not very low, and he should be sitting straight, or his eyebrow, this neck and the body should all be in one line, very straight. And then he should try to focus his mind on the this top portion of the nose, and he should try to see there the Paramatma. So this is the how a person should perform the yoga. So we saw that all these things. And then now it will come here today is so there are few things we saw yesterday, and now we will see the further what is the quality of the Ashtanga Yoga, how a person, what is required. So text 16, Nati astanastu yogesti na chaikantanam anashnatah na chaiti swapna shilasya jagrito naiva cha Arjuna. There is no possibility of one's becoming a yogi. Who, Arjuna? Anyone, if one eats too much or eats too little, sleeps too much or does not sleep enough. So what is mentioned here, that he should have a regulated life, not unregulated life. How much ever I want, I can eat, because the whole body's cycle depends on all these things. If you don't sleep properly, body is not enough rested, then also it is not possible to focus on the mind. If we are eating too much also, we will have so much lethargy. After eating, we get lethargy. Then also we cannot sit in the asana. And if we eat too less also, mind is dwelling in the food because we have not eaten enough. Then also we cannot perform. So a person here, Lord says that there is no possibility of one becoming yogi who does not have the regulated life. So like regulation of diet and sleep is recommended for the yogis. So either too less or too much, then yoga is of any value, not any value. Because so if it is eating so much, like we are eating so much, overeating, what you call in general, or you are just not eating enough, both are not good. So we should eat the right amount of food, what is required for our body. Nowadays, we are going into the problem of so many things, and new theories coming, and all is teaching us to balance the diet. Already this has all been given. Give your body as much as it is required for the body. Don't give extra, don't give less. So how much ever is required, you just give that much to maintain the body. Both are not good for the body. And then sometimes we have a lot of nice facility to rest, and we think that the holidays are meant only to rest. And because we think we are the whole week we have worked so hard, now the holidays, now only we should sleep so much. Or otherwise also we have tendency of having a very long sleep, late night that we are awake, and then we have in the daytime we are sleeping. So for the yogi, all those things is not recommended. Yogi has to live a very regulated life. Everything is on a systematic way, on time sleeping, on time eating. Then only we can practice the yoga system. So what food we should eat? Here also it is mentioned that restriction of food also means that which is favorable for yoga system, for controlling the mind. So some of the food which is not favorable for, like very agitative, it agitates our mind. Also we don't eat those kind of food. So we eat sattvic, a yogi eat sattvic ahar, which is made up of fruits and vegetables and the grains and all those things. Patram pushpam phalam toyam, Krishna said. And also we offer it to the Lord. So that is also a regulation in the life, so that we don't eat anything and everything. So a devotee or a yogi eats he also has a restriction in what he is eating. Many times we have discussed that food plays a very, very important role in our life. Our consciousness is made with what we are eating. So if we are eating anything and everything, food are also divided into goodness, passion, and ignorance. in the 16th chapter, we will read on Bhagavad Gita, how the food is also been defined in 3 categories: goodness, passion, and ignorance. So if we are eating the food in the mode of ignorance, then our consciousness will also be there. And if you're eating in passion, then our consciousness be like that. If we are eating the sattvic food, it will help us to control the mind and senses. There will be less agitation. In the Kali Yuga, anyway, there is so much agitation in the mind. These are some external things we try to maintain so that we can have the control on our senses and stop agitation in our mind. So the sattvic food which we can offer to the Lord, that is the best ahara a person can eat. That in a regulated matter. Not that even if you're eating prasad, you should eat too much. That not too much, not too less is always the guideline. At the same time, we should eat Krishna Prasad, which is karma free, which helps us to control the mind also. Prasad is not different than the Lord. So eating prasad also helps us to control the mind. So we make the cook prasad, we bring the vegetables and fruits and grains, and we offer it to the Lord. And then we take it as a remnant of the Lord. So what is the ideal food is that we eat Krishna Prasad. Anything what we are eating should be first offered to the Supreme Lord. And then as a remnant, we should partake as a remnant prasad. So that regulation also should be there. Then recommendation in, and what is the next recommendation is regulation in eat, sleep, work and recreate. Yuktahara viharasya, yukta chetasya karmasu, yukta swapna bodhasya, yoga bhavati dukhaha. He who is regulated in his habit of eating, sleeping, recreation and work can mitigate all material pains by practicing yoga system. So material life teaches us that do what you like, do what you want. You are the master of your own senses. You can do the way you want. But this is not what we are learning from Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita teaches us, if you really want to be happy, if you really want to be mitigating the pain of the material miseries, you have to live a regulated life. And regulation should be everywhere, in eating, the sleeping, the work, the recreation, everything. There should be regulation. We should get time for everything. Then that's a balanced life. Not that nowadays in modern time, actually the life has become so imbalanced, like we don't have time for anything. There's only work, 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 work. That is the only thing we are having. We don't have any balance of proper sleep, proper eating and everything. So Bhagavad Gita teaches us that we should have a regulation in these habits. If you are practicing any kind of yoga, perfectional stage of Ashtanga yoga. What is the perfectional stage? Yada viniyatam chittam atmani evastithe nispraha sarva kamebhyo yukta iti uchyate tada. When the yogi, by practicing of yoga, discipline his mental activities and becomes situated in transcendence, devoid of all material desire, he is said to be well established in yoga. So when a person is considered to be in the yoga, when his mental, he is completely in transcendence, means he has attained the stage of samadhi. Samadhi means in complete transcendence. Now his mind is not disturbed by anything external. Always he is situated in the connection with the Supreme. So that person, and he is devoid of all material desire. So the moment we are connected to the Supreme constantly, the material desire automatically fades up. It is not required. Actually, ultimately, the nature of the soul is to be happy, right? So right now, we are trying to be happy by material desire, fulfilling the material desire through material senses. So we think that these are the way to be happy. So we are trying to be happy with the material senses. But when a yogi comes in a connection with the Supreme Lord and he becomes perfectly happy, then that happiness is even higher. The taste is even higher. It's a long-lasting happiness. This happiness is Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam. See, this is ever-increasing happiness. It is not that it will be there for some time and then it will go away. So that in that situation, then automatically we became happy. So material happiness is no more required now. Right now it is required because this is the only happiness we have tasted. We have not tasted spiritual happiness, spiritual bliss, spiritual ecstasy. In when you're sitting in the kirtan and suddenly the kirtan goes so like loud and everybody's engrossed in chanting and hearing the holy name, and that time the happiness we receive is so blissful. When you chant the holy name very sincerely, taking the holy name very nicely, and the happiness you feel that time is so nice. Or when we cultivate our knowledge, so these are the happiness. When we attain this happiness, then other happiness looks very fake. Oh, it doesn't give me so much enjoyment now. That is how people change. Sometimes it's a very general and common question to the person, that anybody who comes to Krishna consciousness, over a period of time he becomes disinterested in material things. So suddenly all his relatives and friends will start saying that, what, till yesterday you were doing everything with me, now you are not doing anything with me. Now you are not coming to with us. Now you are not enjoying with us in our parties. Not you are not now you are not so much interested in doing it. What has happened to you? You have felt somebody in your around that they have become like this now, and you feel, yeah, what has happened, what change it has happened in their life, why they are not like before. Earlier they were also so much engrossed in these things. Earlier they were also enjoying doing this thing, but now they are not so much interested. The reason being is that now they have started tasting the higher taste. So there is a comparison always. Then this taste will not be very attractive. Then people like, once you have tasted good, then you don't like the thing which is not that great. So this is a comparison, and this is the difference. Material happiness is always considered to be the lower because it has a beginning and the end. In the 5th chapter we read na teshu ramate buddha, the happiness which we receive through senses is temporary. It has a beginning and an end. So an intelligent person does not engage in that because he knows that this happiness will get over in some time. But this happiness, spiritual happiness, is ever increasing. So that person is now devoid of all material desire. He is said to be well established in yoga. A yogi always tries to engage the senses in Krishna's service. That is how his mind is controlled. So now how yogi come to that state? Because he is always engaged in senses in his Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. He is always busy in engaging his senses in the service of the Supreme Lord. He tries to satisfy the senses of the Lord. He has always tried to engage in the service of the Lord. And that is how his mind is controlled. Now he's not thinking about his own satisfaction. Now he's thinking about how I can satisfy the senses of the Lord, how I can fulfill the desire, how of whatever is been told to me by my guru or by Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam. And that is a greater happiness. So that is how his mind is controlled. Since his senses are under control, he is no longer disturbed by any kind of material desire. So there are two things. Mind is controlled, there is no desire, and there is no desire, so mind is controlled. So vice versa. If I have no material desire, then mind is automatically controlled. My mind is not in my control because I have unlimited desire. Every second in my mind has a tendency to think of so many things. So that is the reason it is always very disturbed. When it is calmed down, when I have no material desire, then already under its control. Or if the mind is controlled, I will not have so much material desire because my intelligence will decide what is really good for me. So, and now it says very beautifully, Krishna is explaining. Now Krishna is saying, how is the situation of the yogi? How do you define that this is like a yogi? Yatha Deepo Nivattasto Nengate Sopama Smrita Yogino Yat Chittasya Yunjato Yogam Atmanaha. As a lamp in windless place does not waver, so the transcendentalist whose mind is controlled remains always steady in his meditation on the transcendental self. So generally, when you have you lit a lamp, if there is a wind, the light of this flame will keep flickering. But if it's in a windless position, where there is no wind, it will be very stable. So similarly, a sense control person whose transcendentalist, whose mind is controlled, remains always steady in his meditation. Meditation mein mind control is the most important part, and that is what we are learning, how to control the mind. Hope you are all understanding how to control the mind to be happy, how to control the mind to be being in the form of meditation. We can attain the meditation, we can do rightly meditation. So this is how it is. So a person who has attained that, his mind is very stable, steady, and he is always thinking about the self. He is meditating on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yesterday we read that he is meditating on the Paramatma in the heart. So Krishna gives the example, as a lamp in windless place does not waver. The transcendentalist mind also does not waver. He has complete control over the mind. A truly Krishna's conscious person, always absorbed in transcendence, in constant, undisturbed meditation on his worshipable Lord, is as steady as the lamp in a windless place. So a person who is completely engaged, absorbed in transcendence, he has an undisturbed meditation on his worshipable Lord, as steady as a lamp in windless space. So a person who is constantly engaged in the Krishna conscious activities, constantly engaged in the service, then his mind is less disturbed. These are all what we are talking is the perfect stage. So not you will see everybody is in that perfect stage. Not that anybody who has started practicing Krishna consciousness will soon attain this perfect state. It will take some time. So we should also not get bewildered. Okay, I'm hearing so much, and you are practicing Krishna consciousness, but why your mind is not controlled? So we are all practicing devotee right now. We are trying to practice, and slowly, there is, as much as we are practicing, there is a change. Definitely, there is going to be a change as much as we practice, but it will not be transformed in one day. But over a period of time, when we practice it nicely, then definitely there is going to be a change. Definitely we will attain that stage where mind is not disturbed. Realization in perfection of Ashtanga Yoga. I just read the translation because it's a big shloka. Somebody will read the translation?
In the stage of perfection called trance or samadhi, one's mind is completely restrained from material mental activities by the practice of yoga. This perfection is characterized by one's ability to see the self by the pure mind and to release and rejoice in the self. In the joyous state, one is situated in boundless transcendental happiness, realized through transcendental senses. Established thus, one never depart from the truth, and upon gaining this, he thinks there is no greater gain. Being situated in such a position, one is never shaken even in the midst of greatest difficulty. This indeed is actual freedom from all miseries arising from the material contact. Hare
So
Krishna
first,
Mataji.
thank you. So first we should know that why do we practice yoga? Yoga process is not easy. What we have learned till now is not, it doesn't seem to be very easy process, right? We have to find a place, sit in a proper manner and do it and try to focus, withdraw the mind from sense object and practice it for very, very long time. You don't attain this perfection in a day or 2 or month. It takes years. People do this practice for maybe 50 years, 70 years, 80 years. Then they get the perfection in Kali Yuga. Other year, the people used to do 50,000 years, 20,000 years. They used to sit in one place to get that perfection. So what is the need? Why they want to do it? Why they are going into so much pain, so much difficulties in their life? Why they are rejecting the material happiness and performing this? Because ultimately they have understood that this is only going to give me the real happiness. They have compared material happiness with this versus spiritual happiness. And they have felt that I have never been happy. I have been doing this for very, very long time materially also. Not in this life. For many, many lifetimes we are doing this. And we have not become happy till now. What is a guarantee that I will become happy? As I was telling in one of the classes, if you remember, that the mind tricks us. You get this, you will be happy. You get this, you will be happy. You do this, you will be happy. You do this, you will be happy. This is a trick of the mind. You get first division, you will be happy. You get 90%, you will be happy. You get 100%, you will be happy. You get a good college, you will be happy. You get good score, you will be happy. You get a good wife, you will be happy. You get good husband, you will be happy. You get a good job, you will be happy. You get nice car, you will be happy. You get some nice promotion in the house, you will be happy. Have you ever become happy? So much we have given to our mind. Every time it demands, and we work so hard to attain that one thing in our life. Okay, this I will attain and I'll be perfectly happy. And we have given so much time, so much energy. And so many times, every time it demands. Okay, now we'll go to holiday, you'll become happy. Now you want to do this, you'll be happy. So many times we have given so much time, so much energy, so much we are trying to fulfill the demand of the mind. But we have still his demand is not getting over. So at some point of the time, an intelligent person thinks, why not to try something else to become happy? Why should I run down only through this? Why should I be doing this only to be happy? Anyway, I'm not becoming happy by doing this. Let me try something else. And that is where the comes of the scripture. We try to practice. Then he tries to go to a person who is also practicing the same thing. And he sees them and he sees that, oh, at least they look to be happy. They seem to be happy. They are better than me. They don't have much, but still their life is so cool. Still they are very, very happy person. So what do they have? And that is where our journey begins. And then we try to follow them. And then we also start feeling some kind of experience of happiness. And then it becomes, we start doing it. So it is, even though it is difficult, nothing is easy in the material world. What is easy? Till now we have only struggled. But this struggle, this is no struggle actually. From the very first day we become happy. From the day one, if we start doing practice, from the day one we will become happy. Some happiness will be there. Some kind of satisfaction will be there. And that is how people are doing it. Otherwise, why will people do it? Nobody is doing it by force. And nobody can do it by force for a very long time. Nobody can do it. People are getting those happiness. They feel happy. That is the reason they do it. So even though it looks like sometimes it's a hard process, of course, the Dhyan Yoga is a hard process, which is very difficult in the age of Kali Yuga. But connecting to the Supreme is, even though there is some sacrifice here, initially it looks like, even though there is some sense control here, but this will give us a better result. That assurance is there, and that complete this thing, like that assurance is perfectly all right. This will make me happy. At least let me try. So this perfection is characterized by one's ability to see the self by the pure mind, to relish that rejoice in the self. So what does a yogi do? Yogi tries to see the self. See, what we are learning is nothing is wrong. We are not the body, correct? Body is just that made of dead matter. One day body will be lost. We are seeing that people are dying. There are going to be changes. We will become old. We will become, we'll get disease as we get old. Even young age also we get disease. So these are the painful situation is going to be there. And at some point of the time, we have to leave the body. What is new in it? Nothing is new. But still we are pampering only the body. We are the spirit soul. Spirit is eternal. It is going to change. It is going to go to the next body. What I will carry is my karma. Is my karma I'm going to carry. My consciousness I'm going to carry. That is going to make my next life better or bad. It is right now I'm doing the work accordingly. It will be decided. So what is so difficult about it? Why do you want to do the things which create problem for me? What is this intelligence? I'm creating problem for me because I want to enjoy. So I do all sinful act also, does not matter to me, and I just close my eyes. No intelligence. So all these things are perfectly, we have to open up and understand our own life. Nobody is going to be benefited or bereft of these things. We are only going to get affected. So this knowledge is important. This knowledge has to be practiced because we want to be happy, not for others. So in that joy state, one is situated in boundless transcendental happiness. Once a person realizes that I am a spirit soul, I am part and parcel of the Lord, my duty is to be connected with him. And when he performs that duty, he becomes very happy. Boundless transcendental happiness realized through transcendental senses. Material happiness, as we discussed, is temporary, but transcendental happiness is boundless. And it is realized through transcendental senses. Established thus, one never depart from the truth. And upon gaining this, he thinks there is no greater gain. Now we have understood that person. What happiness I am getting, that is a perfect happiness. Nothing can make me more happy than this. Being situated in such position, one is never shaken even in the midst of the greatest difficulty. Material difficulties does not disturb him anymore. It will be there. It is not that material difficulties will not be there, but it will not disturb. This indeed is actual freedom from all miseries arising from material. This is real freedom. That I am not disturbed by anything external and I am peaceful, happy in every situation. I know how to deal with it. I know how to be happy. I'm not disturbed because there are favorable and unfavorable things happen in the life. It will happen. My prarabdha will bring various kind of variety of things in my life. But I should know how to deal with it. So a transcendentalist, he knows this. And that is the reason he is happy. By practice of yoga, one becomes gradually detached from material concepts. This is the primary characteristic of the yoga principle. And after this, one becomes situated in trance or samadhi. So he is not now thinking so much of the material concept. And then he is attains the samadhi. What happens? Attaining the perfection of the Ashtanga Yoga. Method of attaining yoga rudha stage. Sa nishchayane yoktavya yogo nirvinachetasa sankalpa prabhavan kama tvaktva sarvana chetasaha asheshataha manasavendriya gramam vinema samantataha. One should engage himself in the practice of yoga with the determination and faith. How we should practice the yoga? Now, okay, I want to start the yoga practice. What should is required? Determination and faith. Because all this process is not going to give me the result in one day. We should be determined and we should have faith in the process and not be deviated from the path. Kali Yuga, we are so like we want everything quick. That is how the fast food has come. Everything fast. I don't have patience to wait. I want immediately everything. My success, my money, my fame, my food, everything should be very, very fast. We don't have that much patience to go through the process. But in the yoga process, it says that one should have determination and faith and do not deviate it from the path. We have to consistent and perform it for some time. One should abandon without exception all material desires born of mental speculation and thus control all the senses on all sides by them. So this is continuously Krishna is in every shloka. Krishna is trying to repeat this word that he should have control senses. He should be controlling the material desire and be very steady. All this thing is not going to happen in one day, but definitely the process what we are going to learn at the conclusion, we will know that it will be very fast process in the Kali Yuga. This yoga system is going to be difficult, but we will get some process which is going to be really easy. So one should abandon and one should be consistent for some time. Even in the material life also, consistency is required. Consistently, when we are doing something, we will achieve the goal. But if you want get in everything very quick, we make mistake or may lose like our what we call, we may not get success very easily. So here also Krishna says, just be patient. The yoga practitioner should be determined and should patiently prosecute the practice without deviation to attain samadhi. Patiently. And how? This is a shloka from Nectar of Instruction, where it says, this is very important. Actually, in this is shloka is very relevant to our material life also. Utsaha nishchaya dharya tat tat karma pravartana sangatyagat sato vritte shadbiri bhakti prasidhyati. Utsaha, how we have to perform. Utsaha, with lot of enthusiasm. Nishchaya, like determination, dhairya, patience. So we have to do any activity with three things. Utsaha, Nishchay, Dharya. Tat karma pravartana. That is how we have to perform our duty. So these three are the do's. And there are three don'ts also. Sanga tyaga sato vritti shadbhiri. So we have to give up the people, those who are unfavorable for us. And we should try to follow the people, those who are favorable to us. That is how, these are the 6 things when we do, then our bhakti will, or our yoga will increase. One can execute the process of bhakti yoga successfully with full-hearted enthusiasm, perseverance, and determination by following the prescribed duty in the association of devotee, sangha, and by engaging completely in the activities of goodness. Sato vritti, good work. Try to follow the people, those who are like-minded. That is the reason it is said that satsang helps us. Because satsang means all the like-minded people are coming together to practice it. So they motivate each other. So we have to have in the good association. Anything we want to do, we need the association. If you want to play the tennis, you join a club where the people are playing tennis. If you want to be like a swimmer, you join a club where people are all swimming. Because with their, like we know that if they are in that company, then I will also be motivated enough to do them. So similarly for the bhakti, we should be in the association of devotees. That's very important. So for the determination and utsaha, there is a nice story. There was a small bird, sparrow, and she had laid egg on the side of sea. And she went out to get the food for the babies. And suddenly the big wave from the ocean came and took away all the small eggs, small children of the sparrow. When the sparrow came back, she saw that she lost her children. There were no more children. And she knew that the sea waves, ocean has taken the children away from her. So she started saying, she was very, compared the ocean and the bird. Bird was very small, but she challenged ocean that give my children back. Ocean said, what are you talking? I don't know where they've gone. Waves of the ocean has taken them. I don't know where. I cannot give them back to you. She said, no, you have to give my children back. Otherwise, I'll dry you up. Now, can the bird dry up the ocean? But she said, she was very determined. I will dry you up. And the ocean started smiling. What you can do with me? Nothing can happen to me. But the bird was so determined. She started taking drop of water and putting in, drop of water and putting in, drop of water putting. She would have taken maybe hundreds of lifetime to do, but she could never do it. But at the same time, because she was so determined, the Garuda, who is the leader of the all birds, he saw that my little sister, this bird, is making so much effort, and she's trying to dry up the ocean because she is genuinely want her children back from the ocean. So he became very kind and merciful. And he came and he told to the ocean that you have to give the child back, otherwise I will dry you up. Now the Garuda is a carrier of the Lord Vishnu. He has a potency and power that he could do that. He could dry the ocean. So seeing her determination, Garuda became very merciful. He became very kind and he said, okay, I will help you to get your children back. And then he challenged the ocean that you just give the children back. And then when Garuda said so, then the ocean got very frightened and he said, okay, I will give the all children back. So what we learn here, when we are very determined in our activities, then we get help and support by the Supreme also. We have to be very sincere. In bhakti also, we always say that it is not that Krishna is looking for your perfection. Krishna is looking for your sincerity. Now, in other process, perfection is required. Like Dhyana Yoga, you have to be perfect only. Unless and until you're completely following everything and become perfect, you may not attain the Supreme Lord. But when we do direct bhakti to the Lord, then Lord sees your sincerity to serve him. Even if you're doing a very little effort, but you are very consistent and sincere, then Krishna appreciates that. The Lord sees our sincerity and perseverance. Method to attain Yoga Rudha stage. Shanai Shanai Ruparmeda Buddhaya Dhriti Grihtya Atma Samsthanam Mana Kritva Nakinchid Apichintayet. Gradually, step by step, one should become situated in trance by means of intelligence, sustained by full conviction. And thus the mind should be fixed on the self alone and should not think of anything else. Slowly, slowly, person should start focusing on the mind, his mind, and on the self, and with complete conviction, using his intelligence, and then he can fix self alone, and one should not think of anything else. That's the stage of samadhi, that completely absorption. Samadhi means absorption in the complete on the self or the Paramatma, super self. So a person slowly, slowly. So from dharana, dhyan, samadhi. Dharana means it's very flickering, coming and going, coming and going. Dhyan means it has started being for longer time. Samadhi means constantly. So these are the stages of dharana, dhyan, samadhi. So at the samadhi stage, so slowly, slowly, gradually, step by step, he comes to the dharana stage, then come to dhyan stage, then you come to the samadhi stage, where he has complete conviction and complete focus on the self. That happens gradually. So again, Krishna says, consistent, gradually. And then mind will still go here and there, still go here and there. So Krishna says, yato yato nischalati manaschanchalam astiram tatastato niyamaitat atmani eva vasamnayat. From wherever the mind wanders due to its flickering and unsteady nature, one must certainly withdraw it and bring it under the control of the self. So this we practice even while our chanting. When we are chanting, mind goes here and there, here and there. Bring it back to the holy name. Bring it back to the holy name. It is a tendency of mind to run away. Mind is very like a monkey, jumps here and there, here and there. But it is our duty to bring it back. Okay, mind has gone. Then bring it back to the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Then by the time mind started, oh, I have to go to the morning tomorrow. I have so much work in the office. I have to do this. Suddenly, oh no. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, I have to submit my driver license tomorrow, and maybe I have to do the car registration tomorrow, and maybe I have to cook something. What should I pack for the children in the school? And my boss had given me some work. then it has gone. Then again bring it back. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So wherever mind goes, bring it back to the holy name. This is our duty. This is our we have to follow this wherever it goes, we have to bring it back. That's what Krishna is saying. It's a nature of the mind to be flickering, unsteady, wandering, but slowly bring it back to your process. If you are doing Dhyana Yoga, bring it to the Paramatma, or if you are doing the chanting the holy name, then we should bring to the hearing the holy name very clearly. The nature of mind is flickering and unsteady. In order to control the mind, we have to engage in senses and Krishna's service. A person with controlled mind is called Goswami. So this is, now we are comparing the Dhyana Yoga versus Bhakti Yoga, which Krishna will conclude at the end. So in Dhyana Yoga, we have to be slowly withdrawing, going to the places and sitting in a nice place, and then trying to meditate on the self. Slowly first fix your eyes closed, half open, and then focus on the tip of the nose, and then started seeing the Paramatma, all those things. But here in a Krishna conscious person, with the open eye, we engage. We hear more about the Supreme Lord. We engage our senses in the service of the Lord. Like we perform aarti, we cook, we make garland, we stitch the dress. We do different activities. And that is how we focus our mind in Krishna's service. So we may do various service, like somebody is making this PPT. This is also service. Like mind is engaged. Okay, I have to, this week I have to make this. This is my task. I have to like collect the material. I have to get the, talk to the devotees and get everything. And then I have to, so any service when we are doing, then we try to focus there in the, so that is how slowly we engage our mind in the services. And that is how mind gets controlled. And a person who has controlled mind is called Goswami. He is Go is the senses and Swami means master. He's the master of senses. And a person who has controlled mind, this is Shanta Manasam Hyenam Yoginam Sukha Uttamam Upayati Shanta Rajasam Brahma Bhutam Akalmasham. Says the yogi whose mind is fixed on me rarely attains highest perfection of transcendental happiness. He is beyond the modes of passion. He realizes his qualitative identity with the Supreme and thus is free from all. So Krishna repeatedly saying that when you have a controlled mind, you will attain the perfection. You will attain the happiness. You will be free from all the material desire. Your senses will be completely controlled. And you will be on the stage of Brahma Bhuta. Brahma Bhuta means you are not disturbed by anything. Yunjamevam sadatmanam yogi vigata kalmasha sukhena brahma samprasham atyantam sukham ashnute. Thus the self-control yogi constantly engage in yoga practice, become free from all material contamination and achieve the highest stage of perfect happiness in transcendental loving service of God. Same thing. Sarvabhuta sthanam atmanam sarvabhutani chatmani ikshate yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadarshana. A true yogi observes me in all being and also sees every being in me. Indeed, the self-realized person sees me, the same Supreme Lord everywhere. So with the control mind, what we will see? We will have the equal vision. Why we will have equal vision? Because that person is not now discriminating through body, he is discriminating through soul. He is only seeing the soul. Because he knows that the body is just the dress given to everyone. We are all spirit soul. By our some desire, for our some karma, we have been given this particular kind of body. Otherwise, we are all spirit soul. So he does not care for the body. We care for the body. We identify everybody as a body because we are not able to see the soul. We are not able to understand the soul. But the self-realized person, self means the Atma. A person has realized the self, he is not bothered about the body. So he's not disturbed by the activity also because he knows all these activities are happening through the modes of material nature. He is a spirit soul. So that person, that's the reason he gets the equal vision. So he sees equally, or he sees everybody as soul. He sees in all is super soul, and he says super soul in all. That is what his vision is. Vision of perfect yogi is Yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sacha me na pranashyati. This is very important shloka actually, one of the important shloka in this chapter. For one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am never lost nor is ever lost to me. So anytime when Krishna gives this philosophy, Krishna will give reason also to follow. Why should I follow all this? I'm happy. Sometimes we feel, oh, anyway, I'm happy. Why should I do this? It's okay. It's too difficult. Right now, rather, I'm more happy rather than going to the process and becoming more like, it's a very extensive process. But Krishna says, ki, if you start everything seeing in me and seeing me in everywhere, that I am never lost, nor he is ever lost to me. Then Krishna became very, very close. Krishna becomes very, very open to that person. Because that person is seeing Krishna everywhere. So Krishna also becomes like very, very close to that person. I am never lost, nor is he ever lost to me. So that connection between the Lord and the devotee becomes very strong. Because right now our vision is very diversified. So we are not giving any attention to Krishna. But we start giving attention to Krishna, so automatically we start receiving attention of Krishna. So when we give more attention to Krishna, then we receive more attention from Krishna also. So once we start receiving attention of Krishna, then our life is more happy and blissful. The true yogi is the perfect seer because he sees Krishna, the supreme, situated in everyone's heart as super soul or Paramatma. The yogi sees the Paramatma in all species. He does not see the external material body. At this stage, Lord Krishna never disappears from the sight of devotees, nor does the devotee ever lose the sight of the Lord. He becomes very close to the Lord. In the case of a yogi who sees the Lord as Paramatma within the heart, the same applies. Such a yogi turns into a pure devotee and cannot bear to live a moment without seeing the Lord within himself. So slowly, initially our connection to the Paramatma is like a weaker, and then becomes stronger. And then when it becomes stronger, then person never want to be detached. Like I don't want to be separated from my father and mother and family. We are so attached to them because we have got some happiness through them, right? We try to be with the person who has given some kind of happiness to us. And we try to avoid the company of a person whom we had a very like a miserable time. We don't want to associate with them. This is the nature of the mind. So we have got sometimes some taste, some remembrance of our parents, our husband, our wife, our children. That is why we are very close to them. We want to always think about them. A yogi start receiving same kind of happiness through Paramatma. And that is the reason he wants to now have it more and more. Because now he has tasted. I had that one time I went in the kirtan and it was very nice. I want to go it again. One time I ate Krishna Prasad, it was very nice. I was very happy. I want to eat it again. One time I met with the devotee and it was very nice. I want to do it again. So similarly, their hankering towards the Paramatma or Krishna becomes more and more because they start receiving the happiness through Paramatma or Krishna. So they cannot bear to live for a moment without seeing the Lord. So at some point of the time, they become so like a condition of Mirabai and the great saintly people like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he was there. He says even 1 minute looks like a one yuga when I don't see you. Oh Krishna. Yugaitam nimishena chakshusha pravishaitam shunyaitam jagat sarvam govinda virehe name. Even the one moment looks like a big time that I have not seen you, because you start receiving that kind of happiness. So not that we will never attend, we will also attend. That little we are doing, little we are attending the happiness. The more we do, the more we attend the happiness. As much Krishna reciprocates according to what we do. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam sathaiva bhajamyaham. So if we do a little, we have a little reciprocation. If we do, there is a more reciprocation, but definitely Krishna reciprocates. That is why we feel happy by serving Krishna, because there is a reciprocation of Krishna. Otherwise, why will some person do? If we think that Krishna is just the idol, why do we need to decorate the idol every day? There's some kind of happiness is there, because some kind of reciprocation is there from Krishna. People like to do it. Why do I want to do anything? Because the Krishna reciprocates. And Krishna never complains. If you are cooking for Krishna and you have put extra salt also, Krishna will not complain. If you put less salt also, Krishna will not complain. If you are doing some service to Krishna, Krishna removes what you call in whatever the mistake is there and takes the good part of it. Krishna is so kind. Krishna is like our true father. He will only take what we have, a desire to serve him. Like sometime what happened, we have brought, like if I have 2-3 children and I got some sweet from the market and I gave everybody one sweet, and the one child came and said, Mama, first you eat, then I will eat it. It is I only gave the sweet to him, and I gave to other 2 children also. But other 2 children were busy eating themselves. The third one child will come. Definitely, what will happen? I'll say, no, you only eat. But we will be very happy with the gesture that, oh, he thought about me. He brought that to me. Not that I'm going to eat it. I want him only to eat. But I'll feel very happy. Oh, he thought about me. And that gesture will always be there in mind. So similarly, when we make an effort to serve Krishna, does not need anything. Like we don't need anything from our children, but the gesture we like. So definitely when we try to serve Krishna, so Krishna does not. Sometimes the child, when they're learning, they'll make ekdam tedha medha roti, ekdam kharab se, and they'll say, Papa, I have made it. Papa will be so happy, wow, this is so nice. And if the wife make the same way, the father will be not so happy. With the child make, the daughter will make, father, oh my God, so nice. It is so tasty. Very nice. Suddenly you think, what has happened to him? Because he want to appreciate the child, because he feel very loved. I remember when I was young, I used to hate going to kitchen and cooking. Cooking was never my thing. I used to avoid as much as I should not go. So sometime in that time also, my mother, when I grew up a little bit, I was in college, I guess. And then my mother used to be sometime out of altar. So that time she used to not cook. So sometime if my maid is not there, cook is not there in my home, so I have to go and make. So I will very grudgingly do. And my father is a very critic person in eating. Means if he likes something, earth has come on, heaven has come on the earth, like that. Everything, oh, this is there, you have not done this, you have not done this, this is, every time he will have some kind of complaint. So when I used to cook one time, I used to be always very scared. If I put him in front of father, I don't know, 100 of complaints will come, because I used to see that he does the same thing to my mother every time. But when I will make and give and say, oh, very nice, I'll give you 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 50 rupees, you have made such nice, this thing, wow. I would say, what has happened to him? No, it is very tasty. Not that it was tasty probably, but he want to appreciate. So similarly, Lord wants to appreciate what we do. So even though we are not perfect, if we are sincerely trying to serve the Lord, Lord will appreciate. And he will think about that person. He will, that's what. And then we get that happiness because of the appreciation. We want to have more and more that happiness. So such yogi into pure devotee cannot bear to live a moment without seeing the Lord within himself. It's not a pain for him. It is a pleasure for him. Krishna consciousness is not difficult and painful. It is a happy situation. That is the reason we want to continue and do it. People are practicing for 50 years in China and Japan. Those who don't even know about Krishna. Very beautifully, they are having deities at home, and they're so nicely, they're decorating, making the dresses and the turban and the nice prasad and bhoga. They don't even know who is Krishna. at some point of the time. But now they've been doing for 50 years, 60 years, because they're getting some happiness. That is the reason they are continuing. So when we do with the love, that is we get appreciation from the Lord. So we'll stop it here. Who is a perfect yogi? A person working in Krishna consciousness is a perfect yogi because his mind is always absorbed in Krishna's activity. We'll end it here and continue to the next class. Try to complete in the next week's 6th chapter. Any question? Comment?
I had a question. You just now elaborated a lot about how Krishna, does not directly answer, but then he responds to whatever we do and the things we do. So knowing the fact that how we are living in today's world, I see across many people that some people do many things which are wrong, or maybe they must be troubling people doing wrong things, but still they get that success and they are at particular top levels and stuff like that. So how is that? I mean, sometimes I wonder that, yes, I know people say that you may not know what they are going through, but they must be going through something which you may not aware. But then as a human point of view, do we never understand that how it happens or how the challenges are faced by them or us? I mean, what I'm trying to say is that if we follow this path and we follow the Krishna consciousness and we follow it and we expect that Krishna would be supporting or responding, but does that, I mean, sometimes it takes longer time for to get the response or understand, but how do we balance those times when you're going through that? Because when you see other people, you feel their lives is fun and there's no issues and everything is fine, good, rosy. You see Insta, you see other things, everything is like perfect. So how I mean, something on that. I don't know whether I'm able to explain my query, but this is something which I wanted to understand.
This is what you asked. This is a very, very general question of most of the people, that when they come to Krishna consciousness, I see so many people not doing and they are having very happy life, and those who are doing also, they have so many distress in their life.
Yes.
Why? So there are various answers to this. I would say that that's a karma theory. We all have performed some karma, good and bad. Probably that person, that good karma is also there, which is reaping. But definitely if he's doing bad, the bad will also come. We have to be patiently watching them. This thing. And it is not about only this life. Karma theory is only for this life. I have not seen him doing any good thing in this life. We have karma stored for many, many millions of lifetime. Every time we create karma and it has been stored, and every life we have been given some karma to exercise, like some karma which we come as a prarabdha. So maybe in some time he has done a lot of pious activities. He has done so many good things in the life. And right now he's reaping that. But the bad thing also will come. I will give you one example, which we generally say, like there was a village, and there was a farmer. And the farmer has a big storage where he used to store the grains. So one year what happened was the crop was coming not very good. And so he stored the crop in his that storage container. And the next, 1 year the crop came very good, whatever way you say. And then he stored that crop in that. And the next year, when he did, the crop was not very great. So he filled that also on the top of that. So now the down was the good crop and the above was the not very good crop. So when he started taking out, his son came with him. And then he saw when it collected the grain, he saw this is all good coming. And he said, Father, you put the wrong, like the crop was not that great. But now we are getting is all good crops. So is this a magic box? It is making bad to good. Because child was innocent. Then the father said, no, right now I am collecting what I have preserved last year. But this will get over, then this year's crop will come, which is not good. So because it's a layer, so right now I am getting, for some time, I will get what previous years I had stored. But then afterward it will get over and then I'll get this only. So this is the karma theory is like this, we have stored so many karmas. So sometimes, and don't go see externally people that they look to be happy. Sometimes, as you said also, that people look externally happy, but they are not happy. Sometimes, or for a devotee, if you say devotees are suffering, devotee never suffer. Till the time we feel that we are suffering, we have not attained the devotional part. Abhi, we are beginner, that we are thinking that we are suffering. A devotee never suffers. Devotee knows that whatever Krishna is doing for me, it is good. Even he is putting me. Had ever Arjuna said that, why Krishna, you are giving me so many problems? I am such a nice devotee of yours. Or the Kunti Maharani, she was Bua of Krishna, and she had gone through so many difficulties. And at the end, she says in her prayer that I want more miseries in my life, because miseries means you were there with me. Now I'm happy you are going away. Vipada Santir, kya tat tat shat. Very nice shloka she says in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So a true devotee never sees any suffering in his life. He knows that there is no suffering. Everything what is happening is a plan of Krishna to teach me something. Because why will Krishna make me suffer? Our karma only make me suffer. Why will Krishna make me suffer? Is Krishna our enemy? One way we are talking that Krishna is my father. Then why the father will want me to suffer? But definitely sometime for my own correction, father also gives me some slight punishment, so that we become good. If a child is not eating food, what the mother will say? I'll come and slap you, just eat. No, I'm watching television, and sometimes you slap also. What is this? I'm just taking you away everything. I will take everything from you. Just do, because it is the love. Because she knows that if I'm engaged all the time, I'm not eating properly, I'll not get good health. Or if I'm not studying properly, if I'm not doing things properly, sometimes parents scold. But that is not called scolding. That is their love for correcting us. So sometimes Krishna also gives the devotee. A devotee never thinks that I'm suffering. This is the one of the thing of the devotee. He knows that if Krishna has given me something, it is Krishna's plan. And it will be for my good only. Krishna has some better plan for me. He wants to teach me. He wants to correct me. He wants to purify me. He wants me to go through this so that I become better. So it's okay for me. So devotee never says that I'm suffering. We feel that he is suffering. We feel that we are suffering.
It was
they
like
are suffering.
sometimes.
Oh, they are having so many difficulties. I have never seen any great devotees talking that they are suffering. Really great devotees, they will never talk about their suffering. Because they know that there is no suffering. Suffering is to the body, but it is Krishna's plans to set an example, to make me understand something, or to purify me, or to give me something better. So externally, it may look like they are having some problems, some suffering. But again, if you understand through law of karma also, you do good, good will come. You do bad, bad will come. Everything. Krishna has a very well-defined planning over there. So nothing will go wrong. If the people are doing bad also, they have to go through it.
In fact, as you rightly said, I mean, one thought which struck me really well, and thank you for that, when you said that devotee, if you feel that you are suffering, means that you are not a devotee. That is something which has gone in very well in my mind. That is what I learned. And just to share is that sometimes when, sometimes like as an experience, like as you said, karma. So sometimes if we have spoken very badly with somebody, or we got angry at somebody, I have personally experienced that many a times, like, maybe this will happen at one incident, maybe after 2 months or something, same incidents happens with me. So where I feel that, I've got my karma back. And that's where I was thinking about it, that when we face it, when we follow all this, how this does not happen. But I think I would not like to go into that. I will go by that concept that we as devotees should not be thinking about it, because it's our part. So
Yeah.
I'll stick to that.
Yesterday also I told them, we all have to go through our karma. We have to burn our karma. Sometimes Krishna burns our karma. We do not know how he's doing. There are various examples. Krishna says, I have given you like so less. When we become surrendered to the Lord, our great misery comes only a very, very small. One devotee was there and he said that he was there's a lot of story. He was not practicing, and he was having a very happy life, and his friend was practicing, and he said, what you are getting by practicing Krishna consciousness? See, you are so poor. See, everything has been taken. See, the thief came in your house and everything is stolen. So he got little bit bewildered, and he played to the God, what has happened? I'm doing everything. Why you are doing this? Krishna said, this life you are practicing, but in your previous life, you see your 10 life, you were like robber, you were like this, you had done so many bad things. But in a very little, because you have surrendered to me, I am just giving you token punishment. So Krishna is definitely giving us a token punishment when we surrender to Krishna. So that we have to burn that big karma in a very small thing. See, karma has to be burned. So how do we burn our karma? So sometimes the big problem will come in a small, and big karma will be burned. And that is why Krishna will free us from all bad karmas.
Got it, Mataji, but thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, there is a question in the chat box.
What is that?
While practicing Ashtanga Yoga, from where we should start? Either Yoga Ruda stage and then coming from Yoga Ruksha, or vice versa?
No, if we are, when we are doing the Ashtanga Yoga, we have to start from Yama Niyama Asana only. Yoga Aruruksha. But if we are practicing the devotional service, then we have to start with Yoga Aruda stage. Start serving. But Ashtanga Yoga, of course, from the big stage, because we cannot go here without. How do you think? How do you meditate on the Supreme Lord? If you want to practice the Ashtanga Yoga, first you have to, that place, the sitting, the pranayam, controlling, then only you can meditate. Ashtanga Yoga means meditating on all the time, right? So meditation ke liye you have to go through this stage. But if you take the Bhakti Yoga, nothing all is required. Start serving Krishna from the very beginning, and slowly, slowly, automatically, all the senses get purified. See, in the Ashtanga Yoga, we will do this in the next class, actually. How the difference we will learn in the next class. Ashtanga Yoga also, what is the, Krishna is giving the theme, what? Control the senses. And fix your mind upon me. This is the two things we have to, this is the result of Ashtanga Yoga. Control the senses, control the mind, and fix upon me, right? This is the only thing. For that, you have to do by these things. Whereas in Bhakti Yoga, controlling the senses, because I'm using all my senses for the service of Krishna, my senses are already controlled. I am reading, hearing, chanting. I am already always thinking about Krishna. So that stage is different, and that is what we will learn. After teaching everything, Arjuna will reject the process. And then we will learn the next process. So Krishna is giving the process. Arjuna will reject. So I cannot do all this practice of yoga. It seems to be very difficult. Then Krishna will say, okay, yogi nam api sarvesham madgate nantaratma. That's it, our chapter will end. So if you want to practice Ashtanga Yoga, you have to go through Yama Niyama, Asana Pranayama, and all those things. Go to the secluded page and all those things. But if you are practicing Bhakti Yoga, then the process will be like a Yoga Rudha also. You just start doing service, engaging your senses in the service of Krishna. Automatically senses gets controlled. Is this answer to question, Prabhu? Hari bol.
No, Mataji, he has some problem in the mic. He has put thank you. I think it's clear for him.
Okay.
He cannot unmute. He said like there is some issue in his laptop.
Okay. Yeah. Anything else? Okay. We'll see you next class. Probably we will have the difference between the this and that and conclude the chapter.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you,
for being
Mataji.
here.
Thank you,
Hare Krishna.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.